Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're coming with a banger of a video, as would goblins say. This is my first time doing acid. So this story happened about 2 years ago in 2020, as most of my stories did. This happened in June, and I plan to do acid at this point. I got it off the internet, but the legal acid, it was called 1CP LSD, and normal it's one of these legal sites where you can buy acid from, but it's an acid analog, basically same as LSD. And on this fateful day, I decided to drop, and it was a nice summer day, but I didn't plan to go outside, or at least I think I planned to, but I never got to it. I took two tabs, and I waited for them to kick in. And I was in my living room at the time. I was home alone, so I decided to drop, and I'm chilling in the living room. My cat is with me. Shout out my old cat. Unfortunately, he went missing a year ago. He was an awesome cat, man, and he's an important part of this story. So I took two tabs, and I want you guys to visualize me at this point. I was 17 at the time, very immature, had a big ego, just wanted to do a lot of drugs because I thought I like drugs, but I also thought it was very cool to do drugs. And I thought it was cool to do acid. No, please don't do that because acid will whoop your ass for this. You can't disrespect LSD and have a good trip. You can only have a good trip when you don't have an ego and when you have a good life. So I took these two tabs and I waited for them to kick in. I'm chilling in my living room. I remember I just started walking around the house, walking around the living room, walking around the kitchen, and just feeling this. It's a weird feeling when you're coming up on acid, especially the first time, because it kind of feels like something is about to happen. It feels like kind of I feel like I'm kind of losing my mind at the same time and expecting something to happen right away. It's a little weird, and I started getting these visuals. I remember things just started moving, just started flowing. I liked it at first. I got that energy. Every time I do acid, I have I think on the come up I have energy and I start yawning. Every time I start yawning. I remember as the acid kicked in and as it starting to peak around peak, I started feeling very, very bad. I remember taking a picture in the mirror of me with two tabs on my tongue. Now that's a bad way to trip, man. That's just a calling for a bad trip. You have to respect LSD. You have to go with it with an intention. You have to, all those things. I remember I was walking around the house like a madman. The whole time I remember this very vividly. The cat was looking me straight into the eyes, like staring at me. And usually the cats don't do that. Even this cat didn't do that, but I feel like the cat sensed my energy or something that day, and he kept staring at me like concerned for me. Or at least that's what I thought, because I looked very, very unsettled. And I looked like I needed some help. I remember my cat just staring at me like I'm a fucking crackhead and I need some help. I remember being in a very bad mental state because I wanted to do acid so long, and I loved smoking weed, so I thought that LSD is going to be a good time. I thought it was just gonna take that, watch some visuals, watch some cool stuff, but that's not really. You can't control acid like that. I watched a Psych Substance video. You guys probably know Psych Substance. He does psychedelic videos and stuff. And I watched his video on how to calm down when you're having a bad trip, something like that. And I just remember watching that video on my couch, being so out of it, being so out of reality like I've never been before that. No weed high or drunk or anything else can compare to LSD or psychedelics. You're so out of reality, out of touch that it's actually insane. I was watching that and I got nauseous and I threw up in the bathroom like once or twice, maybe even more than once. I can't remember exactly now. And after that, the LSD started kind of winding off. I'm starting to come down at that point. And as I'm coming down, I'm coming to a lot of realizations about myself and about my life. I realized that I disrespected the LSD by taking it like that. I had to have a better intention next time to do it. I remember feeling like Mayan, like Mayas, Incas, whole calm down. The rest of that trip, I was just feeling like a Maya. I went to my room and I was talking with my girlfriend. The whole time I was like talking to her about the trip and how I felt like a Maya. And I found a pic online and it really resonated with me. And it was a guy with just his natural underwear on and those feathers that you Incas have or Mayas, I don't fucking know. And I remember I was listening to some psychedelic music while I was laying down in bed, and I was having some amazing. I was having an amazing experience at that point because I completely let go of my ego, and I was really crying a lot because I felt like I really had some deep thoughts at that time because I felt like I always took reality and took this world for granted. I wasn't grateful enough for this existence, for the people in my life, and I really remember feeling very grateful at that point for just the world as it is, being grateful for my life, for my mistakes, for my traumas, for my failures. And that was a really profound moment, and that made that trip really. I connected all the dots at the end of that trip, and I had a good time only at the end of the trip, at the come down. I feel like when you're having a bad trip on acid, your insecurities completely control over you. You become like they burst out of you. It's a very disturbing experience to experience it yourself, but in my opinion, it's worth it to experience it at least once in your life because I don't think psychedelics distance you from reality. I think they make your reality 100 times more real, 100 times more intense, maybe even 1,000. And I think it's something that a lot of people should do with a good intention. That's why I think psychedelics should be legalized so people can take it in a good setting with a therapist. Yeah, guys, this is my first time doing LSD. It was 1 CP LSD. I've done real acid after that, and it really felt like real acid. Same thing. It might be even a little stronger than real acid because it's legal and I think it's made in a controlled setting. I hope you guys enjoy this story. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, and take care.